Welcome into my office. I'm Brian. Let's examine this unique and one-of-a-kind early 20th century book, which is in physically, exterior is in very poor shape. It's a good example of how the exterior of a book can be very misleading. Don't judge a book by its cover, and this is a good example. What's happened is the leather has dried and chipped and flaked, and it's essentially, the covers are now loose, the joints are cracked and held by the binding cords. However, internally the book is clean, tight, and sound. The covers are still attached. There are marbled end papers like so. This book was produced here in 1919 upon the completion of the Army Supply Base in Brooklyn, New York. Here is the man who compiled it. And here is an overview photograph of the completed project like so. Notice all the little rail lines here and all the extensive buildings. My understanding is that this still exists and has been renovated and is today a wonderful new project area in Brooklyn. Here is the letter, blah, 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 from the author. And here is the foreword. There is an extensive index here and the list of contents, including all aspects of the project, the construction, the material cost, the dates of the first arrival of the material. I mean, this is the thing about the military. I was in the service for some years, and this is the thing is, boy, there is a tendency to really get into the minutia and the details, and so the piers and bulkheads, the dredging, everything is all here. Stevedoring, electrical, labor, cost, on and on and on and on. And so, what's interesting about this work, however, is, well, a couple things. One is the extensive report at the front, all of which is typewritten on a typewriter by some yeoman or somebody, Quartermaster, it looks like. And, well, then, once we get past that, here is, begins the illustrations, which is, for us, the most interesting part. Here is a general plan of this. The photograph we saw, I believe, was an angle like this, looking where those cars were on the tracks here, and there were the buildings like so. And there's this view here, an aerial view, and here's some of the people involved. These types of, oh, look at this. Here's all of the quartermasters and his staff. And here's some more artist renderings. But when it starts to get very interesting from our historical perspective, is this now section of all of these early original photographs with these tissue guards that explain what is being shown and where it is. And so here we can trace with these images the construction of this site. Look at that. That's great. Look at all those carts. My goodness, bringing all the material in. There's warehouse, warehouse. We get back into these types here. General views. Here we are, interior views. Then we get into this type of offset photo, back to these original photos like so. Yes, and on it goes. There are, like this, some folding plates also as we get further back. The photographs go on like this. If I were to go through every one of them, we'd be here for a while. This is a great one. Look at those trucks. Nice tonality to the images. Well printed. Yeah, there's a nice feel to them. Yeah. Okay, interior, 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 interior. Goes on. Then we have this large folding map here that shows the area and where the supply base is, right there. Basically overlooking lower Manhattan, it would appear. There's that sort of a diagram. And here is the flow chart of the organization of the Army base. Yeah, flow charts are big in the service. Here's all the people involved, and here's some more statistics, and on and on. And so, this report is almost without question likely one of a kind. It could have been produced in a small number, perhaps a handful of copies for important individuals, but it is certainly close to unique, if not unique, and this is how it survives, and it is available now online from me, Brian DeMambro.